Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome to our special workshop to celebrate the opening of the Lionsgate portal. We love these special workshops because we get to spend some time strengthening our practice and transforming ethereal concepts into practical, real-world application. The inspiration for the 2 free workshops this month was to support an ever-growing number of you who are recognizing the world's challenges and are looking for new ways to develop yourselves to meet those challenges, to cultivate resilience, and become empowered, conscious creators of your own reality. We know that there are thousands, perhaps millions of you around the world who are waking up with a desire to connect with others who are also waking up. For those of you who are eager to access more of yourselves and to know all of yourselves, and to create an inner alignment within yourself. And those of you who desire to be change agents for humanity and for the earth. To help you with that, we've been transmitting energy and words of wisdom from celestial guides and providing you meditations and practices to help you on your journey. If you're just joining us, that's great. We don't have to have any participation experience in past events, and there's no prerequisites to receive this work. For those of you who are new, my name is Crystal. I'm with Evolution 1, the foundation that transmits this work out to the world and supports all those who are engaged in it. I'm here today to guide you into and out of the session. The format of the session will start with a few words from a seal, then move into a channeling. After the channeling, we'll give you a few moments to land, and then there'll be a 15-minute intermission. When we come back together, we'll have an opportunity to ask a seal any questions in the chats about the Lionsgate portal. Then we will share a final meditation guided by a seal. We do have some newcomers today, so I'd like to share a little bit to give you some context for the work. Over the last 20 years, a seal has studied amongst various spiritual traditions. About a decade ago, he had a strong experience that opened a connection that we now refer to today as the channel. This is a powerful connection to both energy and wisdom, which a seal embodies and transmits as a trance channel. Through this connection, energy passes through him and reaches those who tune into the transmission either live or recorded. This energy contains specific frequencies and words of wisdom that can impact your physical, mental, emotional aspects, and more subtle aspects of your own energy field. This energy allows you to align, go deeper in your meditation, connect deeper with your own consciousness, and receive guidance to support your journey into consciousness evolution. A seal's process of going into trance includes spontaneous hand and body movements and rapid breathing. It may not seem normal, but we assure you, everything is okay. His daily human consciousness is still available to him while he's channeling, and he can stop the channeling at any time. While this is happening, you can use the time to find inner silence and stillness, and depending on your level of meditation practice, establish a sense of presence and inner alignment. The channel will bring in guides who specifically present themselves with the name that humanity has given them. You might recognize some of these names as angels or archangels, but they never refer to themselves as such. Once the energy builds, an energetic field is established. Then an energetic transmission of words and energy will begin. People report having powerful experiences even during video recordings. So it's really simple. During this time, sit comfortably or lie down and focus on being in an open, meditative state. Just by being receptive, you've included yourself within this field. During the session, you can invite your higher self in. You can set an intention to release old wounds, thoughts, emotions, or anything that no longer serves you. People do share that things come up despite the absence of an intention. So if that approach feels better for you, just flow with it. During the session, we recommend that you listen in a space where you will not be interrupted and you turn off your device notifications. We also recommend that you stay tuned in throughout the entire session. But if you're in a deep meditative state, it's okay if you aren't able to follow every word. The benefit of staying with us is what's most important, and the words can be listened to or read again later. When the session is over, we will sit together in silence for a few moments before I guide everyone back. For now, get comfortable and enjoy your journey. I'll see you back here upon your return.
Hello and welcome. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. Welcome to this live experience in honor of the opening and the beginning of the Lionsgate portal. As many of you have already recognized, today is not 8/8, which is the peak or the more celebrated day in spiritual communities and circles. But today is when the portal opens. The alignment to Sirius and that star system starts today. That's why we call it the opening to a portal of alignment. No matter what type of cosmological alignment we're experiencing, there is power in these alignments. And we can feel it. We can feel it more and more every day. New moons and full moons seemingly are getting stronger. Any type of cosmological changes are felt. Even solar flares are felt stronger than before. That is connected to two things. One, our conscious awareness, our sensitivity is increasing. As we are evolving as conscious beings and as a conscious collective, our ability to perceive with greater detail our reality is increasing. The second aspect is that the energies of these cosmological alignments and the energy that's moving through as a result of these alignments is also increasing. The energy that's available on this entire earthly plane, the energy that we are subjected to as a race, as a collective, is increasing in intensity and in frequency. That makes everything a little bit more potent. And maybe some of you have already noticed that, one way or another. We recognize, and as part of the channelings that we have received over the many years, the guides speak about this rising of energies on our earthly plane. They mention that this increase of energy will challenge the individual, will challenge the circumstances as a society, but also offer an opportunity for us to utilize, for us to receive and hold this energy that is moving through us. In some ways, a wake up call. In some ways, a beautiful big wave that we just need to learn to ride, like a surfer would. These waves are not just getting bigger and stronger, they're also getting more frequent. The intervals between these waves of energy is increasing as well. So, on a day like this, on this energetic opening, on this energetic alignment, we know that an energy wave is coming through our earthly plane. We know that these waves and these energy streams are getting stronger. So, what can we do? How do we receive this energy? How do we align, attune to this energy? And how do we receive this energy so it can uplift us, it can support us in our path as a human being, in our path as a human society? Many of you have been practicing spiritual, energetic practices, personal development practices, physical practices, yogic practices, chi practices. Many lineages have provided different forms of practices for us. And these practices have served to establish a beautiful foundation for those that have taken this seriously and utilize these practices to become more aligned, stronger in their being, and a higher potential human being. With the work that we do, we encourage that you keep to the practices that have already helped you, that have brought you to where you are. And you can hold and intensify these practices for as long as you want to. The guides that operate in this work and provide this beautiful wisdom and this energy that we will be sharing with you, they provide additional practices. They provide energetic adjustments so that we as individuals and we as a community that comes together in these powerful gatherings, we can receive the energy collectively. We can let the energy lift us up, and we can allow this energy to carry us to higher planes of consciousness, to higher states of consciousness. And something powerful happens when we get to these states. We're open to receive. The love of creation, the energy that fuels, nourishes all of creation. We're able to heal. We're able to align physically, emotionally, mentally, energetically, spiritually. We're able to process the past in a way that we can become more present to our lives. This powerful adjustment as a community, as a collective, going through this together, brings us into a synchronized field, an energetic field that allows us all to be synchronized together, almost like tuning forks on the same frequency. And when we do this as a collective, we are doing humanity a great service, because now we are a group and an energetic field that can transmute and support and uplift a big number of humanity's energetic field. The frequency that is held on this human experience is uplifted by individuals and communities holding a higher frequency. This is why we're doing these mass gatherings. This is the power that we have, not just as individuals, but as a community. The energy that moves through us in this field will ripple across the plains to our families, to our friends, to our neighbors. to all four corners of the world. And this is a transformational impulse, a catalyst for great awakening. Thank you all for joining on this incredibly beautiful and fascinating day to celebrate the opening of the Lionsgate. And we're excited to share this transmission and the following discussion and workshop with you. But for now, we'll enter into a meditative state together and we'll receive this transmission. Greetings. We are Elohim. In this transformational process, as an individual, you will recognize the challenges that you're facing are not new to you. You've experienced these challenges in this lifetime at younger age. You've experienced these challenges by recognizing them in others and their experiences. You've experienced these challenges in other lifetimes before this incarnation. Yet, the nuances of the challenges make the challenge itself a unique, a subjective, and a powerful learning opportunity. Yet, learning opportunities are not recognized by the conscious mind naturally. The human mind is designed to observe the observable reality, to observe thoughts and emotions that arise, yet allow the processing of the learning and the realizations to occur subtly in the sub and unconscious layers of this mental construct. Therefore, many aspects of these learning opportunities occur in the background. In subtle ways, the reality adjusts and consistently reproduces opportunities to complete the learning that has been started. You are faced with challenges. You are repeating some of these challenges in slightly different ways. You are brought to feel the emotions attached to the challenges, and thoughts arise as a result of these challenges. All these aspects, some within your conscious control, and others within your unconscious operations, naturally moving you forward in your evolution and in your learning process, with the ultimate goal of a realization to complete, for your soul to feel the fulfillment of the choices it has made to guide you through this learning. The learning process itself can indeed be accelerated and can be supported by you, a conscious choice of yours to find presence, to find moments of silence, to find the space, to dedicate your energy towards the processing of your past, and towards the learning and the completion of these realizations. This is one aspect of choosing consciously to evolve, to heal, to align, and to grow as an individual and as a collective. Another aspect of supporting this evolutionary process that you're in is your attunement to the energies that are moving through this earthly plane. In simple ways, these energies can be considered like streams that are moving through this reality. And if attuned in the right frequency, you will perceive and receive these streams of energy. Your capacity to receive will be directly correlated to your ability of your energetic system to receive the potency of these streams. The sun itself carries an energetic stream of multiple frequencies. The moon itself, as a reflector, adjusts the frequencies of the sun and provides its unique streams. The earth itself delivers its own unique streams of energy. All celestial bodies, all stars provide unique streams of energy that are moving through this physical reality and impacting all of existence. You are impacted by these streams of energies. Yet, if you are attuned to the frequency of the stream itself will carry you in a powerful way, will move through your entire being, will impact all cells within your being, all thoughts, all emotions, all areas of your energetic spiritual construct are touched if attuned correctly to the frequency of a specific stream of energy. And many of you have been practicing without knowing the specifics. Many lineages have understood to take advantage of certain celestial alignments, of cosmological circumstances, like the full moon and the new moon, the solstices and the equinoxes, the many alignments within this solar system and beyond this solar system with other solar systems. As many lineages have understood before, the importance of finding a moment of silence to attune to these significant moments in your space time construct. These lineages have provided a gift to all of you. Yet merely observing this moment of alignment is a significant yet not complete experience of the power that is embedded within this alignment, that is within potentiated within this alignment. An individual consciousness, human consciousness as a collective, a group of individuals as a community and a field of consciousness can attune to any frequency in this known universe. You can attune to all frequencies available with the consciousness that you hold. Yet this attunement is often an unconscious aspect that naturally occurs when the individual spends enough time in the presence of this frequency. You attune naturally to the energy of a forest when enough time has been spent within this forest. You attune naturally to the circumstances of a certain society and the frequency that they hold. One aspect, therefore, is your natural ability to sit in silence and in presence to attune to the frequency that is present. A secondary aspect is your conscious choice to request within yourself, within the mechanisms that operate your individualized being, to attune to the frequency that is moving through your present moment. This opening to the star system of Sirius as an alignment is such high potentiated frequency and energy stream that is available to you and all of humanity. Some will feel this energetic stream merely by being subjected to the energy that moves through this plane. Some will feel this energetic stream in their meditations. Some will feel the power and the potency within themselves as thoughts, emotions, and physical misalignments will come to surface in this high frequency, high potential stream of energy. And some of you will consciously attune to this stream, will allow your entire being in alignment to receive this stream in its full power and full capacity. Such opportunities occur often within this earthly plane, yet rarely in this high potential, rarely in this wide spectrum of frequencies that will move in a synchronized way through this earthly plane, and in combination with the sun of your solar system, impact all of humanity. What is the benefit to the individual that is attuned to this stream of energy? First, you are set into a state of silence and presence with many individuals that understand the importance and the power of this alignment. Merely this act of being in alignment with yourself, with the earth, with the sun, and with other suns is a great act and service to yourself. You find yourself in alignment with many other human beings, seeking the same evolutionary process through a collective choice of alignment. This in itself is a great gift to you and to humanity. The conscious request to attune to this frequency that is moving through the earthly plane as a result of this alignment of your sun and of the suns of the Sirius star system will result in your ability to find expanded states of consciousness, to fuel the evolutionary processes within your physical being, to attune your mental construct, to process elements of the past, to find a greater sense of presence, to align physically the misalignments of the physical form, to align emotionally the misalignments of the heart, to align energetically the misalignments of this energetic spiritual construct. And through these many alignments that are fueled by this high potential stream of energy, you are uplifted to a new state of being. Even though it may be temporary during the period that this alignment is present, you are receiving the changes, and the changes will truly be sustainable. The state of consciousness that you reach by yourself or as a collective community will be easier to reach even after this alignment is complete. And therefore, a part of you will be activated as a result of this choice to being here. a part that was not active before, an extension of your being, an expansion of your being, an expansion of your consciousness. The potential within you is sheer unlimited. Very few of you have understood the power of this energetic spiritual construct that is attached to this physical form and the consciousness that you hold. Your ability to utilize this consciousness to expand in ways you have not before, to discover realities and planes of existence, other forms of consciousness in physical and in non material form. Many of you are merely starting to understand the power that is within this human experience and this human template, this consciousness of yours. How to utilize this power for an aligned and high potential existence as a human being, as an individual. How to heal, how to evolve, how to realize, how to expand, and how to serve. How to truly love being human and how to truly love all other humans. This potential is within all of you, and every single individual carries this seed of awakening, the impulse to see beyond its current present reality, the desire to evolve as a consciousness and as a soul. No matter the circumstances, no matter the hardships, no matter the age or the societal constructs, you all have this seed of consciousness desiring and seeking to evolve. And many of you are here due to the call of this seed within you, the desire to evolve individually, collectively, as a community. The power of the collective in this very moment, this gathering itself, representing the collective, its unified field, its unified desire to expand, to evolve, to receive the benefits of this alignment, its unified desire to heal, to evolve, and to serve as a beacon, as a pillar of light. In this moment, no matter the uniqueness of the challenges that you face and the life that you have lived, you are one soul of a group of many, and you will experience being one with this group of individuals. While you experience the uniqueness of who you are as a soul, you will experience the uniqueness of this field as a collective soul, as a collective consciousness, momentarily established to receive the energy of this alignment. And you will notice that the power that this collective is granted in this very moment through the choice of aligning together is distributed equally to every individual to receive the benefits of this alignment. And you will notice that you, as one being momentarily established, are serving yourself, all within this field, and all that are connected to this field through relationships and through lineages. Therefore, the alignment that results in healing within you is truly a healing for all of those that you all are connected to. As the energies on this earthly plane rise, these alignments truly will intensify, will carry a greater and even more potent energy. Your ability to receive the benefits of this stream will be defined by your ability to find these moments of silence practice, these moments of attunement in a collective, the ability to expand and align, the conscious choice that you make in this path of being human will determine how well you receive these energies. Energies well received will uplift and support. Energies received from a place of unconscious may challenge and destabilize the individual in this field subjected to the energy without conscious awareness. Even a small moment of conscious awareness can truly make a difference in receiving the energy that is moving through this earthly plane, through this and other alignments with grace. And so, all of you will learn to witness the changes around you, the cycles around you, the alignments and the constellations around you. This great, powerful construct of reality that you are part of, that impacts all aspects of your being. You will learn to appreciate the conscious choice that you have. You will learn to receive the energies through conscious attunement. You will learn to come together as individuals representing human consciousness, to receive these energies together, to attune, to align together, to learn what it means to be one unified consciousness, one unified field. Thank you for listening to our words. We will now commence with the adjustments. Thank you for receiving these adjustments. This transmission is complete. The effects and the impact of this transmission, of this alignment, will continue until the completion of this alignment with the star system Sirius. You will feel the increased potency of this energetic stream on a daily basis. It is recommended that when you feel the energy strongly, to pause with daily activities and find a moment of silence to truly receive the potent energetic stream that is available to you, to your life, and to all of humanity at this point in time. Thank you for receiving this gift of ours. Thank you all for joining in this potent and powerful transmission. I still feel the energy so strongly moving through me and this energetic field we created together as a group, as a community. And if you choose to stay for the second session today, we will continue and we will apply this energetic stream we're connected to into a meditation and see how we can take this meditation to all loved ones around us and to consciously create a reality of our own choosing, individually and collectively as humans. Thank you all, and many blessings to you. See you very soon.
Welcome back, everyone. Let's take a few moments to reconnect with your physical body, allowing yourself the time you need to fully return. For those of you who wish to remain in this serene state, feel free to close or turn off your device now and rejoin the world at your own pace. Remember, you can always revisit the replay to catch anything you've missed. Now let's gently bring our awareness back to our physical selves. Focus on your breath, noticing its rhythm as it flows in and out. Gradually expand your awareness to the room or space around you. And when you're ready, slowly open your eyes, taking in your present surroundings. We express our heartfelt gratitude for joining us in this session. The next session will begin 15 past the hour, past your hour, approximately 17 minutes from now. You're invited to either stay on this YouTube link or leave and return to the same link. If you're interested in taking another step forward with us, our August Foundations training course, starting on the peak of Lionsgate portal on 8/8, is the next natural step and is open for applications until August 1st, just a few days from now. You can learn more and apply today by visiting the link in the chat. And we'll also send you an email shortly with a replay from today that will include application details as well. If you've already applied for foundations, you were sent an email with your status. So if you've applied and you haven't heard from us, please reach out to support@ascension.one. For our Spanish-speaking audience, we are excited to share that for the first time, we will be offering foundations in Spanish. We have links in the chat for you. That deadline is the same, August 1st, just a few days from now. If you know someone whose first language is Spanish, please share this link with them. It's going to be a unique experience, and we're excited to see you there. Those of you who have taken first level base camp or foundations with us before, we invite you to join us again. Between the most potent energies of April's transmission and the momentum of our Balkans expedition just completed, the energy of the Lionsgate portal, and the infusion of our Spanish cohort, this foundation is going to be the most unique and epic to date. Check your inbox for invitations. We sent you, and if you haven't received it, reach out to us. And you can also just use the link in the chat. We hope this experience sparked your curiosity and inspired you to continue exploring with us, and we look forward to seeing you very soon. Again, we'll see, hopefully, all of you in 15 minutes past your hour, which is just 15 minutes from now. Until we meet again, take care of yourself. If you can, give yourself some time before you jump into your next thing. If you can't, try to carry this alignment in all you touch today. Stay well and keep shining your light, and we'll see you very soon.
Hello.
Hello, welcome back, everyone. Hi. Wow, that was really interesting, very a little bit different, and certainly setting us up for this Lionsgate portal. I feel really resourced, ready for it.
Hmm. Yeah, it was quite potent. And I think this is the first time we did something on the opening of the Lionsgate alignment.
Hmm.
We normally usually do it on 8/8, but because we have this course coming up that's starting on 8/8, I think it was a very interesting way for me to feel like we are entering like this gateway that's like
Hmm.
opening slowly and the energies are starting to stream in. It feels like it feels nicer being prepared for it to come full force as it's opening. Anyhow, before we get into all of this, do you want to introduce who is here with us?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So I'd like to introduce you to Rahul Panchal, who will be hosting the discussion. Ra is a practitioner in the world, doing spiritual work for his whole life, but formally since 2016 when he was initiated into Babaji's ashram in the Himalayas, and then went on to study with the indigenous in the jungle. He currently hosts breathwork workshops, rebirth ceremonies, and he recently completed the April 2023 foundations. So thank you for being with us, Ra.
Hi. Um, I normally after these transmissions, I need a nap, and I definitely need a nap right now. I forgot how strong they are. So forgive me if I'm moving a little slow. I'm holding on tight. That I could feel a lot of energy moving through me during that one.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's
Um,
good to have you
yeah,
here, Rob. Thanks for joining us and thanks for agreeing to make this interview with me.
yeah,
Yeah, we'll also have some time. So if anybody has any questions that have emerged as a result of what you heard or what you experienced, what you felt in the session before in the transmission, please feel free to put them into your chats. And what we'll do is, or what Ra will do is, he'll weave those into the conversation. So we'd love to hear from all of you that are watching as to what your experience was and any questions that you might have to include in the discussion.
cool. So, um, my first question is, when you're doing a transmission, what's actually going on for you? Like, uh, yeah.
Well, it's a good question. And in some ways, I feel like I'm just becoming a observer, almost like in a movie theater. I'm like in the seat, just like with everyone else in the audience, watching a fascinating show or fascinating presentation, which obviously is a lot more than a presentation. It's a powerful transmission. So I'm both on the receiving end and my mind is in the observer end, right? So the energy is moving through my body, but the mind is like almost separated out, and every word that's coming through, I can see like word by word, never the full sentence. I don't know what they're gonna say. I have no idea. And it's fascinating that when these sentences formulate word by word, they actually make coherent sense and they're really beautiful, interesting, fascinating, and sometimes even poetic. So, and in the energy of it itself, I have a lot of visuals. So when the guides actually speak, I think, you know how a signal could deliver audio and video, right? In this particular way, we seem to be receiving only the audio signal, right? There's like voice and we have, but I actually receive a video signal too. So I have like full on visions of the things that they say. And it's
Wow.
quite fascinating. I wish I could just like project that into a screen. And I do think that some of our community that are, fine-tuned can actually see things as well as the transmissions are coming.
Wow. So there's a interesting question that came in off of YouTube from Veronica Johnson. She says, hello, are there other cosmological beings and energies we align with in the expanded state of consciousness? Can you expand on connecting with Sirius at this time?
So I guess the question is about, are we connecting with other forms of consciousness when we are in expanded states? And I would say, yes, we can. I think being in an expanded state of consciousness is kind of a platform to be ready to receive the energies, cosmological energies that are present, high dimensional energies that are present. But I also think that the expanded state of consciousness sets a certain frequency in which we're operating. So when we're in that certain frequency band, we're more open to those frequencies rather than other frequencies. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's almost like the more you practice, the more you are in certain frequency bands, and you can get like to really high frequency bands, and then you connect more with energies of those frequencies. Now, I have found some of the most powerful energies on this earthly physical plane are actually the energies of stars and the energies of the sun itself. So if, just imagine the practice of sun gazing, right? Like how powerful that is. The sun is so strong that we can't even spend a lot of time in direct contact with the sun, like for too long, right? Especially when
Yeah.
it's really strong. That's how powerful the sun is. The sun powers pretty much all life on Earth, right? And it's really fascinating to me that spiritually and energetically we can actually tune into the frequency of the sun, and we can receive it even if the sun is not out right now. We're still receiving sun energy, right? The earth is consistently receiving it. In a very similar way, I believe a lot of the other stars that are around are these beacons of frequency transmission. And in recent years, Sirius has come to great awareness, and even way before, like ancient Egyptians have aligned to Orion's belt and also to Sirius, their pyramids. So they knew something about that, right? I would say the energies of Sirius hold a very powerful high frequency energy for me. I find it to be almost like high voltage and high wattage that's coming through. And very much interesting enough, like for me, it's the color of white and blue. Like that's the color presentation with which this energy comes in, almost like an electric blue. And I find it to be very pure, very empowering, very cleansing. And I do think that the consciousnesses that were part of that star system, Sirius, were quite involved with the Earth and human existence and the consciousness collective of humanity. So whatever that connection is between Sirius as a star, there's also a connection of humanity to the Syrian consciousness as a collective. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And I think there is something happening in these opening and these alignments, in these portal openings, where there is not just energy being exchanged, but also information and wisdom and consciousness
Yeah.
evolution.
It reminds me of like on a video game, you get into that little room where you can grab all the power-ups.
Mm-hmm.
It's the special secret room for this little window of time where we can power up whatever we want to pick up. Yeah. So Veronica asked one more question. I thought this was an interesting question. She said, the guides speak of lineage. Is evolution one collective, its own lineage?
That's a good question. I mean, we've set the organization up and the work and the wisdom of the guides in a very, very non-dogmatic way, the way they basically wanted us to set it up. So a lineage sounds almost like, there is a lineage holder, and there is like apprentices, and there is like people that continue the lineage in a specific way. There's a formalized way to practice it. I don't see ourselves to having the structural elements of a lineage particularly. So I wouldn't say at this point that we're a lineage. I would say we are a consciousness expanding community and practice in some ways. And we have powerful divine support that we receive and that we share with people as freely as possible. There's no prerequisites to be part of our community. There is no prerequisite, to stay. There's no like structured ways of you're in, you're out, those kind of things. Only like during courses, we ask people, like when you start it, please finish it. It's good for you, right? Rather than not finishing it and leaving, half baked in the midst of the course.
So nobody has to take any vows or oaths or get branded.
That would be funny. The logo branded, tattooed? No, we don't do that.
that would hurt. Okay, we got another good question from Leanne. Is there a connection with what we are doing now and what we were doing in Atlantis and Lemuria?
Oh, man. That's a really good question. There is a lot of questions about Atlantis and Lemuria. And I do think that humanity at that point as a collective was highly evolved. Very, very, very highly evolved in terms of technology, in terms of its understanding of the universe and understanding of its existence, in terms of its relationship with other forms of consciousness. I think there was a very close interaction and strong interactions with other forms of consciousness. And in some ways, as a human consciousness, there was a lack of evolution and lack of maturity, which led to a massive self-destructive war, which led to the end of the civilization as we know it. Despite all the technologies they had, despite all the divine support they had and the guidance they received. That's really fascinating to me, right? So in some ways, that civilization or that version of humanity, the guides call it the iteration of humanity, was meant to complete, and it did. Is there a connection? I do think that many of us have lived lives in Atlantean and Lemurian civilization or in that iteration of humanity. We've had experiences, some of which are unprocessed experiences, and we're bringing some of that stuff with us to this world and to this life. So with everything that's so Ra, let me ask you something. Have you had in the last years, and have you heard from others, that their knowledge and understanding of past lives that they have lived is increasing?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
So people know more.
Even in healing sessions, like some people are healing from like childhood trauma and things like this. Very regularly, I have people healing from traumas from Atlantis or from Lemuria or from just a prior lifetime in, Egypt or something,
So
but they're remembering it.
Exactly. So the remembering is coming back. So somehow our consciousness is expanding and our consciousness is receiving the benefits of the past lives that we've lived. Now, not just the traumas are coming online, but also the wisdom and the things we've learned and the things we've known is coming online. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
So, past lives coming online is not a bad thing. And it's also not necessarily something we need to seek out like aggressively,
Mhm.
because it will naturally happen based on the foundation we have internally, based on the alignment and capacity we have, right? I believe that the universe doesn't give us anything that we're not ready for. Would you agree?
Absolutely.
So, in some ways, when past lives open up, including the traumas or the wisdom, then we are ready for it, right?
Yeah.
So that's the way I see it.
If it's in front of you, it's for you. Okay, another fun question. I don't understand this question at all, and that's why I'm gonna ask it.
Okay.
So Natalie D says, can you tell us more about the right angle cross of the Sphinx that we will touch on 8/8/2023?
That's an interesting question. I think it is a human design question, as far as I know, remember. So that is I don't know what it's called, probably a construct within human design. I would say that I have no clue, and I don't really know how it relates to Lionsgate. But I also know that human design is a very powerful tool. And if something within human design is aligned with a specific date, there is a connection. There's no doubt about it, right? So there's clearly a connection. I wouldn't really know what the connection is. All I know is that on specific dates of our calendar, certain aspects of our human template are more active than other aspects of our human template. Similarly, the way our birthdays play an important role in our spiritual development. Now, let me ask you something, Ron. Have you noticed, and this might be a rhetoric question, you can just correct me on this. Have you noticed that in recent years, your birthdays have been almost like initiations, not just like a birthday celebration, happy anniversary kind of thing, but it's like an initiatory development, like you're stepping into a new stage of your being, almost
Yeah.
like a butterfly coming out of, its cocoon.
You know the movie Doctor Strange where they open up those like fire hole things through other dimensions?
Yes.
I found that birthdays and New Year's are like that. And even Easter, like for some reason Easter has become so intense for me in the last like 3 years. Like it's like a wormhole. But yeah, my birthday is in between Easter and New Year's, so it's just super intense the first third of the year.
So have you noticed this with some of your community and some of your clients as well? That they are witnessing birthdays to be like
Yeah,
major.
for the last couple of years, for sure. I mean, definitely since 2012, but it's really been picking up in the last 3 years. People's birthdays, their lives change, things change, major shifts are happening.
I agree. I mean, it's really powerful, and I notice how the way we used to celebrate birthdays is no longer really appropriate to the way birthdays are opening portals for us. Does that make sense? And I feel very similarly about equinoxes and solstices. I feel very similarly about New Year's. So there are some powerful things we can do to really make the most and ride these waves of these portal openings. And that's the reason why we as an organization and as a community are doing our most powerful course on starting on 8/8. Like that's why we're opening that on the peak of Lionsgate. So I do think everyone here is a conscious being. Like you're here because you chose to be here as, to practice and to evolve. And many of you are choosing to practice on these special days and on these special dates. And I'll tell you that these special dates are about to get even more special. They're going to get more and more powerful. And the stronger they get, the more we have to actually honor them and take into account that this is what's happening, right? Like I have to sit down and receive this wave that's coming through rather than, trying to ignore it. Like I think it's going to become very much, much harder trying to ignore it, right? Have you caught yourself, Ra, question to you. Have you ever caught yourself being in like a tumultuous day and then you realize, what's going on today? Like something is up today. And then you realize it's some sort of like special constellation, or it's
Yeah.
like a new moon, or it's like a full moon or something like that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I have this moon app on my phone. I got it because I kept finding like things are going crazy on full moon and new moon. So I wanted to start tracking it. But I remember I was trying to learn how to surf years ago. And there's this part of the, like if you go out past where the waves break, you can just hang out and the water just goes up and down. There's nothing like scary. But then if you come in just a little bit, sometimes it's just 10, 15 feet, that's where the waves crash and you have to really be paying attention. Otherwise you just get crushed or you catch an amazing wave. And I feel like we're in just a little bit where those waves are crashing right now. So I want to ask you a question about foundations. We have a bunch more questions from the audience that I want to get to also, but I see the little apply now QR code up there, and I want to add, so this is it correct? If I'm correct, this is the first time we're doing foundations on Lionsgate.
That is correct. Yes.
So when I did foundations in April for the first time, I felt like a crazy, super strong influx of energy for 4 weeks. So, when I heard this new foundations was going to be on Lionsgate, I got really excited because it's like, okay, tons of energy, sandwich, delicious, right? Can you talk about all this energy that's going to be coming through and what your plans are? And I also know that this is the first time foundations is going to be shared with a larger part of the world. Like we have a Spanish translation of it.
Yes.
So can you, anyway, just if you can share about that.
Yeah, it's the first time we're doing it in Spanish and English, which is exciting. So a bigger group of individuals can go through it together. It's the first time we're also aligning it with Lionsgate because we want to see how the energy of Sirius and the alignment to Sirius is going to flow through the energy that these transmissions for foundations are delivering. I think it's going to be a powerful support mechanism. And I almost see it like it's a wave we're catching as a community. It's already like bringing us to a certain velocity or certain momentum. And through that momentum and the transmission of the guides, we're lifting even further with that. So I do think and I do feel it's going to give us a stronger lift than even the foundations in the past. And those were quite strong by themselves. It's not necessarily just like, we're not just making things stronger for the sake of, let's make the strongest course on the planet. No, it's really about building greater capacity within ourselves. The energies that we are subjected to are getting stronger as well. So we have to almost go to a more powerful gym, if you want to see it in this way, right? The exercises have to carry that level of potential so that we can actually practice and grow within that.
Yeah. It's like you don't drive a Ford Focus on the German Autobahn.
People do, but I know what you're saying. Maybe not on the Formula One track, yes?
Yeah. So another thing that I think is really cool about this foundations is to translate it and get it out to a broader audience. It had to be translated, which means it's pre-recorded. And what are you doing energetically behind the scenes during the recorded parts?
So this is interesting, right? Something that I've been doing when there is a transmission that's being delivered that's already pre-recorded. I tune into the transmission. So I'm becoming just like a viewer, just like you are, of the transmission that's being delivered. Transmissions are recorded and delivered, and they're really recorded in like the quantum space. It really doesn't matter if it's happening live or recorded, it's happening now in that sense. So I'm watching, and sometimes I go into a state of an attunement and deliver a transmission on top of the transmission that is being delivered. So it is a little meta, right? So like I'm watching myself delivering this transmission, and I'm delivering a transmission to support the transmission that is being delivered. So it's like a double transmission, if you want to say so. But it's not a practice I've been telling a lot of people about, but this is something that I do just because it's fascinating and it's really beautiful for me to be able to be both on the receiving end and support the reception of it through basically a double layer.
That's awesome. It reminds me of those razors with the extra blades, so you get the super close cut.
I love your analogies.
So we got a question from the Spanish community. Betty asks, greetings from Guatemala, beautiful transmission. I understand that the adjustments in each transmission are different. How can I help so that the adjustments in my being take place more immediately, or should I just trust your process?
Oh, that's great. Well, definitely trust the process. There is a divine intelligence operating here. So we trust that. That's one thing. The other thing is, if you are a practitioner of this work that we're delivering, it is good if you have a regular time for your meditations on a daily basis. If you really make time for those, if you participate in more events like these, but if you actually choose to go on these pathways that we have, the Pillars of Light pathway or the Sacred Earth pathway, you can build a greater capacity within yourself. And when you do that, these adjustments are actually amplified, and they deliver an even stronger and more impactful experience. Now, you might say, like, how does it impact me if I do this and if I do that and if I practice more? Well, first of all, this creative force, this creative love of the universe that's coming through, we can never have too much of it. We can never have too much of this love of creation. But we have a certain level of capacity of our being to receive, right? Just the way, I guess, our capacity to receive, the sunlight, our capacity to, drink X amount of water, and so on and so forth, our capacity to run a certain distance, right? Let's talk about capacities. And the same way, we have capacity for spiritual energy to be received. If we practice, we have greater capacity to receive. It's almost like we're building a muscle within. Our energetic body expands, our energy lines expand, and suddenly there's more energy that can move through us. And that's good. It's healing, it's empowering, you build greater trust, greater confidence in yourself, and naturally this energy starts to impact people around you. And you start to be of service in some ways. Does that answer the question, you think?
I think so. I mean, the really fascinating part that you said is the daily meditations. Like in Foundations, you guys offer these 4 audio tracks to do throughout the day at specific times. So even after Foundations is over, you just keep doing that, and it allows you to drink in more of this energy.
It makes total sense to continue doing, and a lot of people do. Because imagine setting up a structure in your life where you have anywhere from 3 to 4 times a day a routine that allows you to align yourself and become aware of what a beautiful being you are and what a beautiful gift it is to be human, right? Just imagine you have that routine in your life as a habit. It's a beautiful habit to have, right? And it's a beautiful habit to continue.
Yeah. A lot of my clients, I always check. I'm like, do you brush your teeth twice a day, like morning at night?
Yes.
And some of them say no. Some of them are like no, and I'm like, well, before we get a meditation practice that's multiple times a day installed into your life, or even just thinking good thoughts about yourself, let's just start with brushing your teeth and what can we do around brushing your teeth. But
you have
it's
impeccable teeth, though, bro. This is like, there you go.
no, but seriously, there's really something to the pattern of hygiene, right? Like
Yeah, there is.
doing your thing.
The Dalai Lama said something really interesting, and that was like, must have been like 20 or 25 years ago when I read that first time. He said, just the way humans decided they're going to take showers to be clean, a meditation is your shower for your soul and for your mind.
Yep.
And I was like, that's such a brilliant way of saying it. And he's basically saying, if you're not showering your mind and your soul, then it's kind of like becoming all gunky and, it is, right? It's like, and then people need vacations, right? And then there's the societal structure of like, oh, I need a vacation or otherwise I'll burn out. Or they need therapy, right? And because they haven't been doing the maintenance that is intrinsic to being human.
I think the word vacation is very interesting because the first part of it is vacate, right?
Right.
You have
What
to
are you vacating?
vacate. You have to vacate this life that you don't like. But if you just like your life every day, you don't need a vacation. Like when
That's
people meet me,
true.
they say, "Oh, you're on vacation every day." I'm like, "Yeah, because I love my life." And right, I love
Well
it.
said. Well said.
All right, we got a real juicy question
Okay.
from Marie Hoven. She
Okay.
says, "Is it normal to not have felt anything the first time we do this?"
It's happened. Believe it or not. Yes. People, you have to imagine this. What you feel is an aspect of many, many things that have culminated to making you who you are. Some people are more sensitive in certain departments of their life, and some people are less sensitive in certain aspects of their life. Spiritual practice, if we don't have a fine tuned conscious awareness of energy, it could be that you don't feel much, right? Um, and it's something that develops over time. We develop a greater sensitivity within ourselves. And then we feel energy in a different way. We feel what's happening around us and within us in a different way. And, some people fall asleep during transmissions. Is there something wrong with that? Not at all. You're still receiving the transmission. Some people start off saying, well, I didn't really feel anything, but something felt good or right. Like something resonated with this. Well, there you go. You felt something, right? So I sometimes jokingly ask people, it's like, if you don't feel anything, does that mean you weren't feeling anything at all? Were you feeling your body? Were you feeling your heart, your mind? Were you feeling any type of sensation at all? Right? So it's very rare and almost impossible that we don't feel anything. Right? So we feel something. So we just have to start describing what we are feeling in the moment, even if we can't correlate it to the spiritual experience that we are having. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's like building a deeper sensitivity to your own feelings.
Correct. And Ra, have you had this before in your life, like where you actually didn't feel like this type of spiritual energy, or like?
I'm actually working on this right now. I just did some sessions in the last week with different healers, and there's there's a pain in me that I have cut myself off from, and I'm actively working to feel it. But I can, when I come up to this pain, I can't feel it because there's a wall between me and the feeling.
Interesting.
Like the metaphor it made me think of is, you're out on a hike, you're out in a mountain, and like a mountain lion chews your leg off, right? So you have to really turn that off and get home and get patched up. So there's a period of time for a couple hours where you just can't think about the fact that a beast just ripped your leg off, and you just have to get home. And then once you get home, then you're in urgent care and they're stitching you up or whatever. Then you have time to like cry about it, but you can't. Sometimes it's just not a good time to feel it.
Intense traumas, like we have an ability to desensitize ourselves for intense traumas in order to be able to continue to exist. Like if the pain is too big to be processed, then we turn something, or our conscious mind turns something off and pushes it into the unconscious, so that we can actually live and move forward, right? Survive the situation. And actually, I believe that a lot of trauma has been stored like this from childhood, right? We weren't able to process it, and it's been stored, desensitized, and it's very hard to touch it. Is that
accurate? I mean, it's such a common thing. There's a word for it. It's just called disassociation.
Right.
And we all have it because we were all born. We were all like perfectly cared for aquatic beings in the wombs of our mothers, and then we had to enter the world of air and doctors and scalpels and circumcision and all the other crazy things they do to us in the first 10 minutes of being alive. And so everyone's getting basically tortured right away, and it's like, welcome to Earth.
Well, I'd say this developing of greater sensitivity as a human being, or as an energetic being, is definitely connected to practice, but I've noticed it with other people that it can actually go very fast. Like I've seen people within weeks or within a couple of courses to really tap into, like, awaken this greater sensitivity within them. Now, that's not always something that they wanted, right? But it's something that naturally arises, a greater sensitivity. They feel the flow of energy, but also things that have been unprocessed, or aspects of past, right, come to surface. So they feel more within themselves, more emotional elements, more mental, more physical things. And so feeling more is not always better, but it is a process and opportunity to grow.
Yeah. And I feel like it happens at the cadence that you're ready for. Like, again, we were speaking earlier about if it's in front of you, it's for you. Because like the last round of foundation, so much stuff came up, but it was stuff I thought I'd already processed. It was things I'd processed years ago in my spiritual training before even coming across this work.
Right.
And I was so shocked that the guides were getting to like layers beneath the layers that I thought were healed. And now, as we're approaching this next foundations, I've been actively looking. I'm like, what else is in there? What are we going to work on in this foundations?
Right.
And finding layers underneath the same, the places that I thought were healed, the places I thought I'd done years of work, the places I'd forgotten about. Like I was like, oh, that's done. That's not even a thing anymore. There's that wall, right? And I can feel the energies of this new round of foundations coming into that.
Right.
So I'm super excited.
There's a refinement that happens, there's a refinement that happens even if there are old things that are unprocessed. And it's almost like opening up a wound that has healed, but maybe hasn't healed perfectly. So maybe has left a scar, right? So like opening that up, cleaning it up on a much deeper and much detailed level. And it doesn't have to be like perceived as a wound. It's more like something unprocessed. There is a little bit more wisdom in there to be gotten, right? And we're going to get to that. And once you got to that, then there's a checkbox. It's almost like your soul says, oh, thank you for doing that.
Mhm.
And now we can move on. And it's really more integrated.
Do you want to talk about how how this, like the 4 weeks of foundations, like the first week is kind of like a lower volume and how that gets turned up? Do you want to touch on that for everybody?
Yeah, sure. I can talk about that. So in general, I found that in those courses that there is a ramping up that happens in terms of the energy. So in like the first period, there is it's almost like an introduction. It's like, okay, welcome. We're starting this process with you. And this is how this process is going to be, and this is what the energy feels like. Okay. And then people start to feel it. In fact, a lot of people feel it when they sign up, when they first like commit to going the foundations, they start to feel something happening already. And second and third week, it gets like more and more and more amplified. And the fourth week is, generally speaking, a bit more of like a closing of the loop and a completion process. So the transmissions are very, very powerful, but there is also, every week we have these practices that we do together, meditations that we do together, a reflection that I deliver about the transmission that was shared. And also we have, journaling exercises. We have a whole community that's going through this. So it's a really, really powerful communal spiritual experience.
Amazing. Okay, we got some really juicy questions coming in. So
Also, we have a meditation to do. So let's do maybe one or two maximum questions, and then let's get to the.
I got two good ones back to back.
Okay, let's do two.
All right, this one's from, I don't know if I'm saying this right, but it's Liat Manjeev Guy. So he says, can you please explain who or what are the Elohim?
That's a really big question. I would say, in my experience, without having had, a Jewish upbringing, I would say it's a higher level consciousness that took me many, many years to be able to reach. And before I reached to communicate and connect with the Elohim, before I could like really embody its energy, or their energy, I had to go through, different angelic beings to be prepared for the next level, to be able to embody it. The Elohim presented themselves to me like a collective consciousness, speaking in one voice, one centralized voice. And they said that they are the creators, they are the architects of this reality and of this space-time construct. So I thought, well, that's a big claim, right? That's like pretty much. And it was interesting when they first like connected with me. I hadn't heard of the word Elohim before, and I mentioned this to a friend of mine, who basically said, well, do you know that's pretty much like what we consider God in our, Jewish lineage? And I thought, well, that's really interesting, because they say they are like the architects, and in some form they are like creators of this reality. And so he said, this is a very peculiar thing that's happening to you. And I just kept going with it, and continued to be as neutral as I can, and receive the wisdom and deliver the wisdom. Now, when the Elohim speak and deliver, they never speak to me or to us like we are something less than them. They never speak to us as we are like, one of their experiments or one of their creations. But there is always this tone and energy of almost like feeling a great respect and eye to eye, no matter how powerful of creative beings they are as a collective. So in that way, I feel always safe, always held and seen, perceived in the highest possible light. Their messages are never conditional, and it's always giving unconditionally. And it's like the frequency with which they're delivering has been impeccable. And I've tried to poke holes into it, and many other skeptics have. And it's perfectly okay to be skeptical. What I rely on, despite, the story behind the word, what I rely on is the frequency I feel, the beauty that I feel, the light that I feel, the service and the unconditional nature of love that I feel. That's what I rely on as a human being. That's my evaluation criteria, not the story that a seal says, or it's like, who they are, and, someone else's story, what they think it is, and so on. I rely on my ability to evaluate energy. That's what I'll say.
Beautiful. Okay,
Shall
one
we?
more question before meditation time.
Okay.
All right. So Elite says, I did foundations for the first time in April, and I still feel that the adjustments from the past transmissions are making themselves felt in my body, which, by the way, have been quite intense.
Mhm.
If I repeat the course in August, somehow these adjustments will increase even more to the point of being somehow unbearable, or would they help the adjustments to complete?
Great question. I would say the course as a container provides a space for you to dedicate yourself to a practice of evolution and growth. For you to have that space is a beautiful opportunity to heal and to grow, and also to integrate a past course. I don't believe there is any better place to integrate foundations than doing foundations again. That's absolutely what I believe. And if the energy or the transmissions are strong or intense, as you say, or potentially feeling like unbearable, I would say, what is the part of you that is potentially resisting? What is the part of you that is not fully surrendering or maybe opening up in a kind and gentle way to yourself, right? Because to me, when energy is struggling to move or these adjustments are bringing up a lot, there's always the opportunity to release and to ground the energy into the earth. But that requires a softening within. It requires a bit of letting go and a bit of, um, yeah, softening is the right word. Surrendering is the right word. And also, I would say, don't worry about it too much, right? The transmissions are perfectly attuned to every single person, and they will deliver and integrate in the way that they were meant to be. Doing foundations again, I believe, is a great idea for you. Are we ready for meditation?
Yeah. And I'm excited to do foundations again. I'm so stoked.
Right.
It's, I mean, the first time I did it literally felt like layers upon layers of divine
Mhm.
intervention in my life, and just I want more.
Right. Yeah, it's beautiful. Thank you for sharing your experience, Ram. And for those that have, signed up and haven't like fully committed yet, I'd say the opportunity to go through an accelerated and high potentiated evolutionary process Like, we have had these opportunities in the past, but there never has been stronger moments. Like, I feel every course we're delivering is getting more and more potent and more powerful. And there's a reason for that, because the energies are rising and getting more and more potent and more powerful. The things that we're processing individually and as a society, as humanity, are getting more and more powerful and more intense. So the practice will make a difference in your life, guaranteed. This transformational process, we may be able to postpone it for a bit, or push it or resist it for a bit, but my recommendation is to do it sooner than later, because this is an important aspect of becoming a greater potential human being than you already are, to be able to serve your humanity, your loved ones, to be a pillar of light in your community, to be the sacred earth keeper and the steward to the earth. So all that the guides want us to become are these empowered, these liberated, these connected human beings that from this place of empowerment become gracefully and unconditionally serving to humanity. And with that, I think we're ready to go into a meditation. What do you think? Yeah, let's do it. So I invite you all to close your eyes and focus on your breath for a moment. Relax your shoulders. And if you need to lie down, you can also do that. And take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And then the deep breath in and the deep breath out. And the deep breath in and the deep breath out. Without much effort, we are back in the energetic field, in the energetic stream that we opened up, that we attuned to together as a group, as a community. The unified field that we established is still active. Just let yourself sink into that active field. Feel the alignment within yourself and within everyone else in this field. A collective alignment is present. And naturally allow the breath to come in and out. Naturally, your heartbeat continues. Naturally, the energy moves like a fresh spring river. And you may observe and bring your attention to the energy of the star system of Sirius that moves through this earthly plane, through our solar system, through our sun. And this beautiful potentiated energy has a particular frequency, an enabler, an activator, a catalyst. And allow this energy to move through you without effort and without barriers and obstructions. The energy moves naturally, with ease, pure energy. Knows no judgment, knows no evaluation. It just moves like water through your being. And maybe, as a conscious act, you say to yourself, I am willing to receive. I am ready to receive. I receive with an open mind and an open heart. I receive with great appreciation. I receive with gratitude. I receive with love. And see what each of these proclamations do to your being and to the energy that moves through our field. I request this energy to bring physical healing to my physical body. And see how the energy moves and where it goes. And while this process is continuing, I request emotional healing in my heart. And witness how subtly, or maybe not so subtle, the energy moves and brings an alignment in your heart. I request mental healing and witness how the energy moves in your mental construct, in your brain, in your consciousness, bringing a greater alignment. I request an energetic and spiritual alignment. And witness how this energy moves to provide exactly that. You request and you receive. You create the space consciously to receive. You create the presence to receive. And as this energy is moving through your being, I request a great alignment within all aspects of my being. Allowing this energy to adjust, to align the various ecosystems of our being, to be aligned and attuned to each other. I request to be empowered, to be fueled and nourished, and witness how this energy moves and adjusts to deliver you exactly that. Now, from this place, we expand our request beyond our own being. I request that with the energy that is moving through this field, we expand the energy to move to our loved ones, to our families, to our friends, to our neighbors. Like many waves rippling from this gathering, reaching many individuals, many other communities, many other societies. We envision, we imagine, we visualize ourselves and others receiving the benefits of this energy. Physical, emotional, mental, energetic, and spiritual alignment. A greater sense of peace within, a greater sense of peace without, a greater sense of health, greater sense of trust, a greater sense of confidence, a greater sense of abundance, a greater sense of love moving through you, moving through us, moving through humanity, moving through all beings alive. Take a deep breath in and let this energy move as it needs to move. And a deep breath out. And allow this breath to ground you into your physical being, that is physical existence. Stay in the meditation for as long as you want to, as long as you're feeling called to. And if you choose to come back out slowly, do that by moving your fingers or feet or toes, touching your legs or your hands, and opening your eyes whenever you're ready. Feeling the integration of this energy, even though it may be continuing in the background. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you all for joining in this powerful opening a portal to alignment. The Lionsgate portal is officially open, I would say. And may this portal opening bring forth great evolutionary healing, realizations, love, and abundance in your life, and everyone that is touched by the work that we have done today together. For all of you that want to take this a step further, we are starting our foundations course on August 8th. And those of you that have not applied yet, you can still do so until August 1st. And those of you that have been approved, sign up so that we can go through this together. Much love to you. Thank you for joining us. Blessings to all of you around the world, and see you very soon.